So a few days ago, YouTube came out with its annual YouTube Rewind, and to no surprise, there are very few people in the commentary community that actually enjoyed it. But trust me when I say this, no matter how much people complain about their favorite YouTuber not being in this year's Rewind, it won't change anything. That's because people like PewDiePie, Pyrocynical, iDubbbz, and others like them are all on the dark side of YouTube. Why is anyone shocked about PewDiePie not being in this year's Rewind? Are you all oblivious to the controversy surrounding him in the past year? If YouTube cancelled Season 2 of Scare PewDiePie, why would you ever expect them to let him be a leading figure in this year's Rewind? But there is another side to this. As we now know, Ethan from H3H3 was actually invited to be in this year, but he declined as he had scheduling issues. This to me indicated that not everyone wants to be or can be in the YouTube Rewind. And for all we know, this could be the same for other YouTubers like Filthy Frank or iDubbbz. But another thing to consider is that YouTube might not actually want people like Filthy Frank and iDubbbz. Most people are mad about it, but I don't blame them at all. If they had to choose between Keemstar or some family-friendly vlogging channel with an equal amount of subs, it makes perfect sense why they would prefer the vlogging channel. Believe it or not, but people like PewDiePie should not be the face of YouTube when all you hear about him is the time he said the N-word. But there is also no denying that the Paul brothers have been undoubtedly the most popular thing that has happened in the past year of YouTube. So the amount of screen time they got was entirely justified. It seems like the biggest problem people always have is the YouTubers that are picked. I keep hearing people cry about how celebrities and Viners are given a spot, but why shouldn't they? People act like their history matters to whether they're a YouTuber or not, which is completely wrong. It doesn't matter what you did before YouTube. If you regularly upload content to YouTube, then you're a YouTuber. It doesn't even have to be your career, you just have to upload. Yet, people will always claim that these previous Viners and celebrities aren't YouTubers, and thus shouldn't be given a spot on YouTube Rewind. And for crying out loud, why do you all care so much? Boo-hoo, you didn't get to see a YouTuber that you know for half a second. And also, I think that people are overestimating how large the commentary community really is. YouTube has a community way larger than any one of us could properly comprehend. People say that they don't know anyone in this year's Rewind. But have you ever thought that it's because not everyone in YouTube interests you? I stopped at the end of the video, during the section where they showed everyone's name, and I decided to look up the names of a bunch of people I didn't know. I must have looked up over 20 random names that I was unaware of, and not a single one of them had under 1 million subscribers. In fact, most of them were pretty close to 10 million, believe it or not. These are very popular people, and to say that they're irrelevant is plainly ignorant. Just because you don't know some of these people doesn't mean they aren't popular. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of smaller YouTubers that showed up, but my point is that the majority of them have a fairly relevant sized channel. I also see people complaining that not all of the classic YouTubers were in the video, and why should they be? They've been in the last 4 or 5 YouTube Rewinds. So, is it too unreasonable to replace some of them with newer and up-and-coming faces? But probably the most idiotic thing I've seen people complain about so far are the trends and memes specifically featured in the video. Why are people even complaining about there being a fidget spinner? Do you have any idea how popular it has been in the past year? Listen, I'm sorry that your little underground meme didn't make it into YouTube Rewind. I guess they really should have added your Keemstar meme. And while they're at it, why don't they just add into the background Leafy bullying some kid? Believe it or not, what you all in the meme community call normies are just regular people. They're the majority. Why would YouTube even bother with memes that are too controversial or not well enough known? Besides, if they did add your lesser known memes, you'd probably say that they're ruining it. So, it's a lose-lose for YouTube either way. Now up until this point, the videos I've watched about YouTube Rewind have been fairly normal. But then there's this guy, Emperor Lemon, making what I consider the worst criticism of YouTube Rewind I know of so far. To sum up his video, he goes over the reality of what YouTube has ended up like in 2017, entirely missing the whole point of YouTube Rewind. If you couldn't already guess from the happy music and colorful visuals, YouTube Rewind is meant to be a positive retrospective on the year, using what seems to have been the most relevant and happy parts of 2017. I know some of you will want to bring up the part in this year's Rewind dedicated to the multiple tragedies that happened, but even this had a positive spin. If you couldn't tell from the blatantly obvious indications, it was showing that we come together in times of crisis, and that things get better. I entirely agree that YouTube deserves and should get backlash for their broken monetization policies, but it has nothing to do with YouTube Rewind. Emperor Lemon merely used YouTube Rewind as an excuse to make a video complaining about YouTube. And dumber yet, his solution to the problem was to, get this, dislike the new YouTube Rewind. Okay, how does this in any way signal YouTube to fix their issues? It would just make them think that people didn't like the video. If you really want YouTube to fix their issues, keep making videos about it, keep tweeting about it, keep doing things that actually are more likely to work. Don't throw YouTube Rewind under the bus for the advertisers pulling their ads. And it's sad too, because whoever directed YouTube Rewind is probably not in a position to do anything about it. An immense amount of time, effort, and money went into this year's YouTube Rewind. I have a lot more respect for the people who made it than the people who are hating on it. I actually like this year's Rewind, but I guess not everyone wants to see it as the innocent celebration that it is.